Hello everyone, this is Amar from Cricketer Online. Oops, let me get my mask off. I hope everyone is good to go. This is the first time what I'm going to do. We're going to do something unique today. We're going to have a very amazing player with us from West Indies do a live session bat reviews with us. We just received 4 SS ton special edition cricket bats, and you know, when I was unboxing, I saw West Indies Shane Mosley, and I thought, you know, can I please have him on the Facebook live session with us? So here it is.
Hi, good night everyone. I'm Shane Mosley, West Indies opening batsman, and very excited to be here to review these bats. SS loves the bats, so it should be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I'm really honored today to have him here with me doing a Facebook live session. That's awesome. That's one of our dreams coming true, that we're able to chit chat with international player, also part of Manhattan Yorkers. So that's awesome. All right, so here are the 4 bats. Shane, what do you think? And please tell your insights about this bats. This is the first bat over here.
Well, the first thing I look for in a bat, and this is a very nice profile bat. It's a nice full shape, and the edges are rounded, which is very nice in terms of sometimes with the rounded edges, the bat lasts a bit longer. When the ball hits the toe, doesn't have much of an impact with the toe of the bat. The next thing that I look at when I choose my bats are the grains. So with this bat is quite a few grains on the face of the bat. So for me, that means that the bat's probably going to hit the ball pretty well. The next thing for me is obviously for everyone is probably the pickup. So I get into my stance, and very nice pickup of the bat. This is very well balanced. So this is probably one of the better bats here, but there's 3 more to review, so we'll have a look at the others.
Awesome. So when you said that you look at the number of grains, what are your preferable number of grains when you look at it? Like
for a bat like this, I would say probably around 9 to 10 grains minimum.
Okay.
We tend to think in Barbados especially, the more grains in the bat tends to show the higher quality of the bat in terms of how the ball actually comes off it. So that's something I tend to look at when I'm choosing my bats.
All right, so 9 to 10 grains that's what Ed Barbados or West Indies international players think that is going to get them the right juice. Yes. In their shots. This one has around 9 grains, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10 grains.
So perfect. I got it correct. So
he got it correct. Let's just do a ping test.
Let's just get a few off the bat. Yeah, so it's making a really nice sound in the middle, and then we're gonna get a bit to the toe and a nice sound to the toe of the bat as well. So I mean, that's a gauge for me. The middle is always gonna probably hit the best in the bat, but once you get that nice sound coming off the lower end of the bat, then you're dealing with a quality willow.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. What do you think of the sweet spot? How do you like in the balance? Do you like the thicker shoulders and the thicker bottom especially, or do you think that that doesn't help in the pickup or something?
Well, I prefer my middle to be balanced off. Some guys prefer the middle to be at the bottom, some prefer a thicker edge at the top, but for me this is a very nicely shaped bat. The middle is exactly where I would like it, and a bigger toe is good for me. So okay. I would say this is a nice bat. I would actually probably use this.
All right, let's take that away from him, and let's give him the second bat. I'm going to put it here. Don't worry, it's here.
Okay, let's drop this one. So this one, we'll check the grains out on this one. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which isn't bad. I mean, let's see the pickup. It's a nice pickup as well. I mean, it's a similar profile to the other bat. The middle seems to be around the same place. The higher up on the edge seems to be slightly bigger, but this seems to be a bigger bat. What I've noticed though is that the toe of this one, the bottom part is very level. It's not the curve that you see the guys currently using. That only came in probably like a couple of years ago. So this is a more genuine bat, and I think this is probably the one that I prefer most. I'm not a huge fan of the curved off toe, so this is probably one that I would prefer in terms of shape and profile.
Yeah, there's sometimes also it's a perspective that you get that full bat, right? When they're in the square bottom.
Yeah, I'm one that I like the full profile of the
Yeah,
bat, so I
yeah.
don't like too many concave edges and stuff like that. So
Right.
this is actually quite nice.
Yeah.
Let's hit a few and see how it's coming off. Yeah, so this is actually a good bat as well. You can hear that sound in the background echoing with the ball out the middle, and you hear the toe. This is making a better sound off the toe of the bat. I think this toe is probably slightly thicker than the other one. I guess the sound probably is coming from the flatter edge at the toe, so that's probably giving it a bit more meat for you to get the ball off of. So
Nice.
this is a very good bat. I think this will be for one day cricket. I probably prefer a thicker toe. You know, if you're going for your big shots and you don't quite meet the middle, then you would want a thicker toe for white ball cricket. So this for me would be a good white ball bat.
Right, nice. So this one is 1160 grams. The other one was also 1160 grams. But do you see any difference in the balance?
In balance, this one seems, the weight seems to be a bit lower in this one.
Okay.
But the pickup seems to be pretty good as well. On the other bat, this one, let's go back here. On this one, the weight is a lot more balanced than this one. But the pickup for me is not as nice as the other one. So I mean, it's a win-win situation. It all depends on where you like to have, you know, the weight in your bat, probably a little lower or a bit more balanced, but both are pretty nice.
Yeah,
All down to
awesome.
preference.
That's great. All right. Here it is. This is a little bit heavier, I believe, but it's more balanced, I believe. That's what my thinking
Okay,
is.
so let me show you the grains on this one. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on this one. So we're coming down. This one, yeah, it's a nice pickup. I find with SS bats, they're SS mates bats with really good pickups though. So you wouldn't really find much of a difference in between bats with SS. I mean, you may get the occasional one that's, you know, maybe a little bottom heavy or maybe a little top heavy, but SS usually makes well balanced bats. This one is flat toe as well, so I know this would probably be, you know, put aside probably white ball cricket as well. Let's have a look and see how it's hitting. It's a nice sound coming off of the bat. And one thing I can tell you so far of these bats, and it's a nice willow. It's not too soft and it's not too hard. I tend to like my bats just to that in between. You know, sometimes with the harder bats, the ball doesn't really come off as you would like, and then sometimes when the willow is a bit soft, you know, you get damaged edges and stuff like that. So
Right.
for me, these bats are a good balance between, you know, a hard willow and a soft willow. So pretty nice.
Yeah. That's absolutely, that's a lot of customers actually ask me, you know, why do you prefer a little bit softer press and not too much harder press? And we tend to answer them, but you know, it'll be great if you answer, and you kind of touched on that subject, that you know what kind of press you like. You like something in between, so that you don't want too soft because the bats get damaged, and then you kind of get not, you do not get that confidence from the bat, right?
So
yeah.
what I would say in terms of a pressing of the bat, a softer press bat, usually for me, I would find the ball comes out of it a lot nicer. You know, the sweet spot is a lot bigger.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, with the softer press bats, they don't last as long.
Yeah.
That's the issue. They will get you, you know, the good feeling you want and the sound out of the willow and the ball actually rushing off into the areas, into the boundary and over the boundary rope. But for me, with the softer willow is how long will it last for me. That's with the softer willow. The harder willow, you know, it's gonna get you, you know, duration in terms of how long the bat lasts, but the ball doesn't really give you that sweet sound of the bat as much as you would like. And for me, batting is, you know, you want to hear that sound. When you play a nice shot, you know, you get into that frame of mind and the sound out of the bat. So for me, I would say the in-between, the soft, very good, but probably you like to have a soft one if you're sponsored, you know, so you don't have to worry if it breaks. So
that's true. That's true. That's a good point.
But if you're purchasing one for your kid at home or even yourself, I would advise the in-between, hard and soft wood. You will get that duration as well, and you will also get the ball coming out of the sweet spot pretty well.
Nice, nice. All right, the last willow in this special ton edition which we received today, and this one is the lightest of all.
Yeah, this is the lightest, and so far I've seen, just give you a bit of a show. This has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 grains on it. Probably should make a pretty nice sound when the ball comes out of it. It toe is a flat toe as well. So, a very nice pickup. You know it's a lighter bat, so it's very much of a lighter pickup. One thing to say about the curved toes is I know K.O. Rahul, plays for India. He uses the curved toe bats. I think he's one of the players, I think, in my opinion, as far as I can remember, who first started using bats with the curved toe. So this one, let's see how this is hitting. Yeah, so you can hear the ball coming out, and it's very nice. This one with the most grains, as I said earlier, you'll probably get the better results. So this one to me though is not as thick as the others. The edges are not as thick, but you know the grains somewhat compensate for that. So it's up to what you want, and from what I can see, the back is a bit more concave than some of the others. It's not it doesn't have the full shape. I like to use the full shape as well. I know Shane Dorrich from the West Indies, he likes the full shape as well. And I believe, if I'm not wrong, that Virat Kohli, he uses that same profile with the full shape of the bat. So it's all down to preference.
Right.
The full shape makes you feel as though you have a bit more will in your hands, so you're a bit more trusting when you're playing your shot. So for me, that's what it comes down to. But this seems to be a really good bat. You've got your grains, the ball's coming out of it pretty nice. So any questions, Amar?
Yeah, actually the main question now going to be, out of the 4, which one do you like?
Okay, let's go. Of the 4, I think I would go with number 2.
Number 2, all right.
This is number 2. This one is
1160
grams, and it doesn't have as much grains as the last one and the first one, but for me, I like the pickup of this one a lot. Very balanced. It's the full shape as well, which I like. And you know, it's pretty thick edges. You know, thick edges. Something that's going around. You know the bat meter rules now, so you can't cheat. So, but as thick as edges you can possibly get, you know, you'd go for a nice full shape. So I would go with number 2.
All right.
This is
number 2 is Shane's choice. I'm going to mark it because I know some people are going to just say, hey, please get me that one.
I would advise you get the quick marks as soon as possible. This one may not be here much longer.
I'm going to just put a star mark here so that it's...
Right, so number 2, I would go in order now. I would choose my second one, in fact.
All right.
And that, for me, would be number 1.
Number 1.
The curved toe. This also has a very good pickup. Your grains are pretty nice, and it's very balanced. For this one, I found the ball came out very well. This for me is probably the best balance in between hard and soft wood.
Okay.
Yeah, when I get a good flick on it, and you can actually feel it, even though it's got a bit of a clear plastic on. I think this is probably a really good bat. So head over to Crit Max and number 2.
All right. Yours. So now let's have a fun question. Have you ever batted with the oversized cleft?
No, I haven't.
haven't.
I haven't batted with an oversized cleft, but before the rule actually came in, I know some people in Barbados who actually use a few big ones. I mean, it was probably ridiculous, but it's a good thing they brought the rule, and I think it was getting a bit over the top. I mean, there needs to be balance between bat and ball. So the rule is pretty good. So
good.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Keep that.
All right, so hi Abhishek, thanks for joining us. Do you have any questions for Shane over here? You know, ask right now. We're going to answer that. If not, these are the 4 bats we just received today, and you know, Shane Mosley reviewed them for us. Let's see if you have any questions. Shane, I have one more question.
Yeah.
you played your first tournament in US, right?
Yeah.
How did you feel?
Actually, the cricket in the US since I've been here have been very enjoyable. I know my first 2 games I played in North Carolina, which was on turf wicket, which we call pitch at home. It was a good pitch. It was a bit slow. I find the turf wickets are a little slower over here than back home. I never been taught on matting. This was actually my first time playing on matting, so you know it take a bit to get accustomed to, but I enjoy the cricket, playing with Manhattan Yorkers and meeting new people, and I think that's what cricket's about, so the cricket's been of a good standard, and you want to be a part of something like this, so it's a really, really good opportunity for me to be over here and playing in the US.
Okay, awesome. They want to know if this is a semi-oval or oval handle. I would let you answer that.
This is number one. Yeah, this seems like a round handle to me. The reason I know it's a round handle is because I don't like oval handles, so that's why they pick up.
And because you like it,
yes,
so.
I batted with an oval handle, I think about twice when I was a lot younger, and I find with the oval handle, your bottom hand, for me as a left-handed batsman, my bottom hand used to come in more than I wanted it to, because the oval handle gets a bit bigger at the bottom, and then you tend to hold the bat a bit tighter. For me as a left-hander, with your bottom hand, you're a right-hander. If you're at home and you're a right-hander, if you're right hand. So for me, the round handle gives the balance for both hands on the bat. You want to get your top hand as most control as possible over the bat. And some people are predominantly bottom hand players, but for me, I like to be a bottom hand player as well, but you don't want the bottom hand to take over too much, so I prefer the round handle, and all these bats are round handles, so that's my preference. And I guess some people prefer the oval, but I guess, as I said, it comes down to preference.
Yeah. And do you think these are slim handles or medium
from
handles?
What I would say, I believe this is probably a medium handle.
Okay. Would you add one more grip on this?
Oh, that's another thing. I'm not one to use 2 grips. It's never felt comfortable to me.
Wow.
If my handle's a bit small, then what I would do, I would use some tape.
Okay.
I would take the rubber off and use some actual tape on the handle, and then it would actually put a warm grip on. Sometimes you may find some grips that are a bit thicker as well, and that can also work. But one thing I would say, the first thing that I do at home when I get a new bat is I record the handle at the bottom. That's one thing that I do. I like my cord to come a bit further down than is actually made in the factory, and for me, that holds the top of the bat a bit longer.
Okay.
And your handle feels a bit more secure. I mean, sometimes when guys are bowling high pace, the handle, you need that sturdiness of your handle. With the impact on the bat can put a lot of pressure on the handle. So I try to get my treading as far down as possible.
Wow, that's a good tip for everyone. Yeah, that's great. Let me see if there are any other questions. Yeah, Abhishek, if you're coming down to Jersey, you can join us in the nets as well. No problems. All right, so I guess there is no more question. Thank you very much. Oh, there's one more. Love this bat. Can I have one? See, there you go. I told you, as soon as we put a star mark, people are going to start asking for it.
These are good bats. So I would head over, and there's a shipment I think is probably coming in on March in a few days or a week or so. So there are 4 here at the moment, and if you want to get, you want to be the first, then probably, tomorrow or even tonight, if you're close around, is a wonderful time to head down.
Or, you can head on to www.crickesteronline.com or WhatsApp us on 619-666-4464 and we will help you. Okay, I think if there are no more questions, we are going to end this session. Thank you very much, guys, for joining in. Thank you very much, Shane.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. I look forward to doing another one. It's been really good. I hope you got some good insight into, the choosing of bats and how different players choose bats. And, it's a good thing, for everyone, for younger players as well. I would say, get to know your profile. It will probably change as time goes on.
Right.
Sometimes I use a normal blade with short handle, always short handle. And there was one time I switched over into a long blade for a few months or so. That was when I was in New Zealand in December last year playing West Indies 18 cricket against New Zealand. I found the pitches in New Zealand are long blade, suited my style better, and it actually paid dividends over there.
Wow.
I actually got 100 there against New Zealand A, so
that's very tough.
That was good. So I mean, it all depends. Sometimes different conditions, require you to probably make a little change. So as you go on, you will know your profiles and what changes you need to make. Thanks everyone. Good night.
Oh, Dipesh wants you to pick him a bat as well.
Oh, Dipesh. I would give Dipesh this one.
Yeah,
which
I thought
is the last one that I chose. The reason being, this one has some very nice grains. It's probably the most grains that I would have seen so far in any of the bats, and I haven't seen Dipesh bat since it was here. So this one for me.
Have you seen him bat bowl?
I haven't seen him bat or bowl. He was doing a lot of running around since it was here. But this one is the lightest Dipesh, and I think this one will suit you best.
Shane, let me tell you this about Dipesh. He is #1 bowler in New Jersey.
Okay.
So
I think Doris will have something to say about that in terms of your bowling. Also, Dipesh is challenged Shane to a 2K run, so I wish you well in that.
All right, that's awesome. Thank you very much, guys, for joining. Sardar Mohammed, for the prizes, please head on to www.cricketeronline.com. You'll see the prizes. Thank you very much, guys, for joining in. This is it. Signing off.